Hi, it's Cami once again with Thrill Like a Girl TV. We've been off for a couple of weeks. Apologize about just disappearing off the interweb. Between the end of the Kickstarter and the holidays starting and eBay business blossoming and things like that, we just lost track of some time. So it's been 2 weeks since we posted. It is Thanksgiving today, which is Thursday, which is our normal posting day. And I really hope that everybody had the day that they wanted to have. I know not everybody celebrates Thanksgiving, but most people do. And I think all of us have something to be grateful for, even if we've been through some really tough times, which a lot of us have lately. So just started off and just wanted to take a moment to just some of the things I'm grateful for is the fact that I live in a time and a place where I can pursue my passion and that I have the support and understanding of loved ones around me, and that I'm safe and I have a roof over my head, and that even if I get angry about something, I can raise my voice and there are people that will listen. And even if there's injustice in the world, there's something I can do about it. And I think if you're like me, which you're not necessarily like me, but most likely, perhaps, we're very buoyed by things lately, like the midterms. And regardless of political party, I think it's a good thing if government looks more like the people it is governing, and it can't be argued against that the House of Representatives now looks a lot more like America than it ever has before, and I think that's amazing. And saw a documentary last night called Seeing Allred, which is about the career of Gloria Allred, which I knew maybe this much about. And it's obviously a sympathetic portrait. It's a pro portrait of her, and it doesn't really delve too much into her life. But that's not really necessary for something like this to really appreciate what someone does when they don't have to for other people. And one of the things that came out of the film that was just such a strong message was that when you've been victimized or marginalized or attacked or had horrible things happen to you, there's a progression that happens, that you have to figure out how you move on from that. Not that you forget about it, not that you don't seek justice, not that you don't think you're worth anything that happened to you. Like you are worth more than what happened to you. However you process that and that damage that was inflicted on you, and how you come out of that, and how you grow beyond it, how you find your strength again, how you find your voice again. And those sort of things happened to Gloria. And what she ended up doing with her life is being an advocate for other people that horrible things had happened to. And I believe it's Gloria Steinem says in the film that the final step in recovery is helping other people find their justice and their peace. And that's just, it's very profound, especially since we live in a society that doesn't encourage women to support other women. There's an unhealthy competition that we're all sort of taught, and it's sort of ingrained in us from a very early age. And we're going to be digging into that with the documentary Thrill Like a Girl, because it's really foundational, that we don't see that we do that to other women. And just also last week, I was at a seminar, and there was a woman, and she was telling a story. And we were talking about how cool it was that here we are at a post-production group meeting in Los Angeles, which is kind of a male-dominated thing even still. You know, post-audio, post-composition, editing, that kind of thing tends to be a white male domain. And here are all these women there, and women of color, and we were interested in developing our skills and using our voice to tell our stories. And this woman I was speaking with, and she said, she learned at a very early age that women don't help each other. Her mother told her a story about parable or fable or whatever. There was a man walking down the street, and he had crabs in a bucket. And they were kind of trying to peek over the top and obviously trying to get out. And people kept stopping him and saying, "Oh, sir, you better put a lid on that bucket because their crabs are going to get away." And he said, "No, they're all females. They're going to pull each other down." And I've heard that story said about different ethnic groups, but it's probably the hardest hitting when you think about, yeah, that's women do that. Women pull each other down, and we need to stop doing that. We need to be able to be confident enough and successful enough and fulfilled enough that we can cheer for other women and support other women, and even give someone else a hand up and say, "Hey, maybe you should apply for this grant. I'm thinking about applying for it too, but I don't want to hide that from you. I want to encourage you because your story is different from my story, and both our stories are worthy of being told." And hopefully we can all start to come together and just raise our voices together, because that's how we change something. Another thing that Gloria Steinem said in this film that I just kept repeating over and over in my brain, because I'm like, I don't want to forget this. I don't want to forget this. A movement starts from speaking the truth. And that's what we're doing with women's baseball. And I know in light of all the other horrible things that happen to women in the world, it may not seem like the biggest deal in the world, but it's a microcosm, and it's important. And the reason why it's important is because women are being told that they don't get to have this dream. This is shunted off from them. This is not accessible to them because society decided that this isn't something that girls and women can pursue. And you can apply that same thing to so many things in life. It used to be about medical school, and women could only be nurses because, they're just going to get married and they're not going to practice medicine anyway. I mean, this was a prevalent thought that women only needed careers to see them through until they found someone to marry them. And yeah, that's it was real, and it was real in my lifetime not that long ago. And hopefully now we're raising our girls up to reject that notion and push back against that notion. But the sad reality is more American women have become princesses than have become Supreme Court justices. And that's true. I believe 7 or 8 women who are American have married into royal families and literally become princesses or queens, and 3 have been Supreme Court justices. So it's like 50% more princesses than justices, and that is something that we need to change, and we can't change it by ourselves. We need to change it as a group. And it's not just obviously that one path. Not everybody wants to study the law. Not everybody wants to be a justice, but some people want to be a Major League Baseball coach. Some people want to be an umpire. Some people want to kick football. Whatever the thing is that we as women are told, that's not for you. We need to rally around and say, there's a whole group of us that say she gets that. She gets to have that, because everyone should get to go for their dream. Not just men, not just white men, not just white straight men, who are really the people who are told they can do anything because they do anything. Other groups are all told, well, maybe that's not for you. And that damages our society. It damages our self-esteem. It damages our self-worth, which is kind of the same thing, but not exactly. And it holds back society, because when people aren't happy and they aren't fulfilled, then they don't want to participate, and they're angry and they're sad, and there's just all kinds of terrible things that go along with being told that you can't do something just because of what you look like. So that is my Thanksgiving message today, is that we just need to look around and say, is there a woman or a girl in our sphere of influence who is struggling with something, who maybe doesn't have the confidence to go for something and needs to be encouraged, or maybe doesn't know how to do something but really wants to and just needs a mentor, or just needs somebody to say, you can do that. And I've got your back. And I will help you however I can. Without jealousy, without agenda, without any of the things that we sometimes do to each other. So maybe we could all, that's my suggestion, is that we just think about how we can support each other instead of tearing each other down. So hope you have a really awesome day, and that it's a brilliant holiday season for you, and that you stay safe and warm and you're surrounded by loved ones, and we will see you on the bases. Thanks so much.